I am born and brought up in Chennai. I joined my dad's and uncle's business in 2009 as an intern. And I saw that the garment export business was a very, very tough business, a no margin business with high risk involved. And I could see my dad and my uncle under a lot of stress. It was during that time where our business was not doing well, frankly, and we had a lot of debt. So because we had a garment export background, we said, why not do retail? The domestic market was booming. And we started exploring menswear, women's wear, kids wear. Interestingly, in women's wear, at that point of time, there was a transition happening in the ladies' attire. It was moving from a sari market to a two-piece separates market, where the top was being purchased separately and the bottom was being purchased separately. And it was more like a blue ocean strategy. So we said, okay, look, there's no one in the bottom wear space. Let's get into the business. There was another reason why we selected bottom wear. It is a core category where it's a everyday wear category. There's no fashion risk. So me and my dad spoke, look, if the business does not run, there's no inventory risk. We can sell it at cost of goods sold and we can exit the business. That was the rationale of selecting a product like that. So we were skeptical whether it will work or not work. And initially, because we were going through a loss, to put in capital and start the business required convincing, which we did. And we selected ladies' bottom wear as a product. We started with leggings and then we started adding a lot more products as we tasted success.
Right.
When we entered retail, it was an eye-opener. And we lost about 90 lakhs to about 1 crore. And at that point of time, that was a huge money for us. So at that point of time, we thought whether we should run the retail business or not. If it's going to be a receivables-driven business with that kind of risk, why don't we exit and do something simpler? Then we said, and I always had this belief that the future of retail is direct to consumer, without channel partners. So I said, look, we don't have the capital to start a store. Let's start with a kiosk. Let's keep apparel in a kiosk. Right. Suppose the outlet does not do well, I'll remove my kiosk. I'll use my kiosk somewhere else. We started off with that one kiosk in Express Avenue Mall in Chennai, and that kiosk did wonderful numbers. It was a 40% EBITDA business the day when it began. So we had a lot of disagreement on the scalability of the kiosk. So we opened the kiosk, did well. We opened 60, 70 kiosks. When we started doing the store module, people didn't have faith. People said, look, success what you had in kiosk, you'll not have in stores. And I knew kiosk is not sustainable because we were adding products after product.
Right.
The store is a sustainable model.
Yeah.
So we opened a couple of stores. It was breaking even. But I knew it was in the trajectory of profitability. So at that point of time, we had investors on the board. Investors didn't believe in the EBO model. They said the wholesale model is the right model. When you get in a venture capitalist like Sequoia, if the category is large enough and the promoters are good, they take the bet. And that's with any venture capitalist. So I think somewhere it was a very difficult decision for Sequoia. They somewhere thought that this can become a category like innerwear.
Right.
Like how Page Industries, Lux have created a huge multi-thousand crore industry in innerwear. Sequoia was able to visualize that and we were able to make them visualize that this bottom wear category can become a core category like that. When we were getting an ICSA venture, we were growing our EBO network.
Right.
What really clicked very well for ICSA venture was the predictability of growth in the business. So today, when you're having a network of 200 stores and you're giving a business plan projection that, look, I'm going to add 100 stores every year. My old stores are going to grow at this kind of SSSGs growth. The investor is able to predict that and then plan an eventual exit, which in a EBO-driven business like us was very possible.
Right.
Today in a wholesale business, I can say, look, I'm going to grow by 50%. How does the investor believe that? But in an EBO-driven business, because the business is so structured in terms of the number of stores and everything is driven by growth of stores, the investor is able to visualize that growth and visualize the category and then take a decision whether they want to invest or not. So we started the one kiosk in one mall in Chennai. It did very well. I mean, the kind of sales we were doing and the profitability it had was amazing. So we knew that the direct-to-consumer channel is the right channel to go with. So we opened another kiosk in Chennai, then we opened another one in Bombay, and we went ahead and opened about 70, 80 high profitable kiosks across the country. And we built a revenue system of about 40, 45 crores a year business through kiosks and large format stores. In our enthusiasm and aggression, I mean, I would say that my aggression, I went ahead and opened kiosks in places like Lucknow or Varanasi, or basically went all over the place and opened 80 kiosks in probably in 40 cities. Fundamentally, the kiosks were not loss-making, but the idea was the strategy of opening was wrong. Because when you're doing an expansion of your own network of stores, it has to be symmetric. You have to make one city strong, then you go to the second largest city. If you're not strong in the top 8 cities in the country, you cannot sell in the balance 200 cities. So fundamentally, we were wrong in that strategy. Second, when we wanted to transition from the kiosk to store, we had to, because the kind of products we were coming out with, a kiosk would not be sustainable. So when we started opening stores and we tasted success, for the first 2 years, we concentrated only in the top 8 cities. Even if we would get options outside the top 8 cities, we would politely neglect and decline. So we had went and opened 40 stores in Chennai, 50 stores in Bombay, 40 stores in Delhi. So our entire focus was get the top 8 cities right. And then think about the 9th, and then today we are 569 stores across 133 cities. So when we raised money from Sequoia, we raised about $10 million. And वो नया पैसा का जोश होता है, that you raise money and you get carried away.
You also got carried away.
Of course.
Okay.
So that's another mistake which we had. So we spent about 10 to 11 crores on advertising ahead of time, where our distribution of stores, kiosks were not in place. But we went ahead and spent 10, 11 crores. Investors recommended it might work. We also thought it might work. In good faith, we went ahead. And that entire campaign went for a toss. We lost 10, 11 crores in 3 months because we advertised. Then I realized that advertising, if it ever has to happen, it has to happen after you build a supply chain and you are present, you're physically available. We cut down on all expenditure of advertising. Every money of free cash we generated was going in for store expansion. So from our 10th store, we came to 400 or 500 stores. Then when we got the supply chain right, then we realized that advertising is not relevant in our business because we are an offline business. Today, when a customer is buying a GoColours, she sees us, for example, say Mumbai city, we have 60 stores. She's seeing us in 50 other places before she's buying us in our 51st outlet. That is advertising. So our stores being in the most prominent high streets and malls and airports, that is our advertising. And that we realized that no money on advertising we spend, we can get that kind of mileage. We kept all our products in a symmetry of colors. And we used the entire store as a white background. Because colors stand out against white the best. So we used that kind of an architect and we said, okay, how does the color of the store come out? So we put the symmetry of colors and we made the store extremely bright. We did that across the country. We went to 150 malls. And when we placed ourselves with the other women wear brands, the customers were already there. See, for us, we prefer paying higher rental than going to an off location and doing marketing. Go where the customer is. So where the other women wear brands were there, Biba, W, Global Desi, and we went there. And we took real estate there.
And then you decided to go IPO. You could have done an IPO when COVID was behind you. You were at 500. You could have got some other valuations maybe. But you still chose to do it at that time. What was the thinking?
Today we want to build a 3,000, 4,000 crore plus business. Being a public limited company, that credibility comes in. So that was one reason. The other reason was, of course, also acknowledging the exits of the existing investors. So during COVID, we went about the process. And we were one of the fastest companies to go public. We finished the entire public process in 6 months.
And look, you're a part of the folklore. While during that period, a lot of IPOs got oversubscribed and stuff, but yours was what, 130 times or something like that? Yeah. And for a 400 crore business valued at 6,000 crores is outstanding. We should give him a big round of applause for that.
I got funding from Sequoia, etc. It all sounds very nice. But how many pitches did you make? And at what stage did you get Sequoia? Like you mentioned, you went through a long process, longer than it took you to go public, right?
Yeah.
See, from when we did a Series A, we appointed an investment banker. The one thing, what we as a family were clear that we don't want to meet too many investors. We wanted to meet about 6-7 investors and see how it goes first. So I would say we were lucky in that in the first 6 or 7 investors, Sequoia clicked.